Hi, I'm Jim and I was retired. Do you track your expenses? If you are in a DIY retirement, have you built a monthly budget? Or if you're planning for your retirement, have you figured out what your detailed expenses will be? Well, in this week's video, I'm going to share my numbers from my DIY retirement, and I'll review the top 6 expenses in retirement. Stay tuned. Now, as I explained last week, my 3 bucket system is built on a detailed understanding of what we will need to cover for a year's worth of expenses. Bucket 1 includes the withdrawals that I'll need to make for the next 3 years of expenses. Now, before the pension began at 65, all of the annual expenses had to come from our retirement savings. Now, some of our expenses are covered by that pension, but I'll still need to know what the expenses are so I can structure that 3 bucket system. And that's all about asset allocation and matching up expenses with the risk that you want to take with your retirement savings. Now, Richard Quinn, a retiree I follow on Humble Dollar, is famously opposed to budgets. He just spends what he has in his guaranteed retirement income. And it's month to month, and they stop spending when they run out of money. Well, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have a spreadsheet that I review every month with actual expenses from Quicken. We have 2 or 3 major credit cards that we use that track expenses. Credit cards are paid off at the end of each month, but it helps you track expenses down to the dollar. Now, I've been tracking those expenses for 7 years. Now, here's a pie chart that includes the monthly averages from the 7 years of data that I've collected in that spreadsheet. The first set of expenses include home utilities, home repair, home insurance, and property taxes here in New Jersey. Even without a mortgage, the house gets a third of our monthly budget. Now, whether you have a mortgage in your DIY retirement or not, the house is likely to be your largest monthly expense. If you live in a high tax state like New Jersey, property tax is going to be a major item. I am glad with the current tax code, which has one more year until they figure out what they're going to do with it, has a standard deduction that is big enough that I don't need to worry about itemizing property taxes. Heck, even if I did, my property tax exceeds the current $10,000 state and local taxes deduction limit. Now, there's a whole debate out there on whether you should have a mortgage in retirement or not. Now, I was fortunate enough to pay off our mortgage and then use some of the cash flow in my last job to max out retirement savings. So I don't have that issue. But if you do have a low interest mortgage in retirement, fine. I understand. It's probably wiser to pay it off at that low interest rate, but make sure you have a budget for it. Now, auto, fuel services, auto insurance, travel related expenses, we'll all call that auto, even though it's sometimes planes, but that takes up about 11% of our monthly budget. Now, we have 2 cars in our retirement because we each have our own schedule, and it's more convenient to have the freedom to hop in a car and drive where we need to. We own both cars outright, so there's no added expenses for auto financing. It's just the auto upkeep and repairs and insurance that go into our auto category. I am more comfortable owning versus leasing a car, although I understand the advantages of bundling the costs of your car in a lease payment for a set number of years. And some people are good at that. I would rather own the car outright. Now, you'll need to eat in retirement. So, just like the economists, I track food here in the home or groceries and food outside the home or dining. Now, food eats up about 13% of our monthly budget. Now, for the food category, I do most of the shopping and cooking at home. And we don't eat lavishly, but I enjoy preparing a meal, particularly sharing it with family and friends. But we built into our budget an occasional dining out. How about you? I do know some retirees eat out a lot because they don't like to cook. Do you spend most of your food dollar in groceries or dining? Drop in a comment below to let us know. Hey, before I go any further, will you please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video with other DIY retirees? If you like entertaining ideas from one DIY retiree. Now, medical insurance and the co-pays and everything else related to it add up to 14% of our monthly budget. So we'll say health gets 14% of the budget. Now, for healthcare costs, we have one final year on the Affordable Care Act for Marie. And then we expect to see a big drop in medical costs once we are both on original Medicare and Medigap insurance. Because the ACA premium tax credits are based on how many are seeking coverage in your household, we found that it's almost as much for one with our household income as it was for two when we were both on ACA. And see that video there for more on the catch-22 of healthcare costs in retirement. Federal and state taxes add up to 8%. So taxes get 8% of our budget. Taxes in a DIY retirement are really based on how much tax-deferred income you need to meet your expenses. Now, we've been holding down income to stay within the 12% tax bracket while Marie is still on the ACA insurance. We are likely to see taxes go up in the pie once we begin Social Security and complete some more Roth conversions before I turn 73 and need to take required minimum distributions. Our goal will be to aim for an average effective tax rate throughout retirement. And we're hoping that by paying a little bit more taxes in the next couple years, we can lower the required minimum distributions and therefore achieve that tax goal. And then everything else is in the other category, and that adds up to about 21% for other. Other is where you really need to keep an eye on expenses. Subscriptions, entertainment fees, and the virtual rent, I like to call it, of streaming and internet can grow without you even realizing it. So take a look at those parts of your budget in your DIY retirement. Now, giving to others in charity is sort of like the oxygen mask on an airplane. They always say when it drops, make sure it fits on your face first before helping others. And you do need to be concerned in DIY retirement that you've got enough for your retirement before you give to others. I will conclude with my standard warning. I have no initials after my name, so take these as entertaining ideas from one educated consumer to another. Always do your own due diligence and seek out a professional if you need one.